What's up guys, welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to take a look at 3 new phones that I got in my collection, and 2 of them are going to be absolutely amazing. I've wanted them for quite a long time, but I'm going to show them later in this video, so stick around in this one. Stick around in this video because the longer you stick around, the more exciting stuff you will see in this video. Because I'll start off with the more normal stuff, and then I'll start off with, the story, how I got these, etc, etc. Because there's kind of, I have 3, and 2 of these phones, there's actually kind of a story to them, how I wanted them and how I got them. So yeah, let's first start with the first phone that I got, before I got the other ones. Yeah. This right here is, as you can see, a Samsung of some kind. And as you can see from the wallpaper, it's a Samsung J series of some kind. Well, this is a Samsung Galaxy J3 2017 that I pulled out of a e-waste bin the other day on first day, which is like, what, a few days ago by now. Yeah, this works perfectly fine. This is a J3 2017, 16 gig storage, 2 gig RAM, Exynos 7570. Works really well. I completely debloated this thing. I wanted to put a custom ROM on this because I actually have quite a good experience with the J3 2017 because my nearby friend has this exact phone in gold and his dad owned it. And I actually know someone else who also had a J3 2017 in gold as a backup phone for a while when his iPhone died. But I've never had a J3 2017 myself. So this is of course a black one. And my friend thinks the black one looks better than the gold one. And I also kind of have to agree because the bezels on the black one, as you can see, it looks really clean. They're barely even noticeable, and you just see the home button, but that's it. And it looks really good with this wallpaper until you notice that it's an LCD, but that doesn't matter. The gold one, on the other hand, has very prominent bezels. You can really see them. You can really notice them because, well, they're gold, and it's really a noticeable color. And the Samsung makes these cheap phones look really premium back in the day. Which is really nice. Well, the J series at least. The A series was still premium. I'd say this is more premium looking than premium. I mean, of course, the back right here is aluminum, but there's, plastic borders around that. The camera lens is glass. With a little cutout for the camera, for the flash. The flash is plastic. Condition wise, I'd say this is average. As you can see, if I hold this up to the camera, there are a few scuffs here and there. This was probably not used with a case, or not used with a case much before it was being used without one again. The screen is, well, you will not be able to see it on camera probably because, the reflection and it's black, and the fingerprints, but it is pretty scratched up. It is average condition. It's not bad, but it's also not exceptionally good. Yeah, now you can kind of just see the scratches. This thing is kind of scratched up, but I don't mind. I don't really care that much about this phone either. Look, I charged it up to 100%. I normally don't even do that. I normally charge my phones to 80% because, well, I love preserving the battery on these because replacing batteries on non-removable battery phones is a pain in the butt. I have experience with that, and I'd rather not share that experience. Yeah, this is a dual SIM model. This is a J330-DSN. So DS dual SIM, and N stands for NFC. So this thing also has NFC. This is definitely a very common phone in the Netherlands here. Lots of people had these. This thing is actually nothing special at all. There's no fingerprint scanner. This is a really, this is like an NPC phone, as I like to call it. It's very overlooked. It's very, not that generic. It does have some nice stuff to it. For example, the front-facing flash and the aluminum back. So it's not all crap, but, I think the J3 2018, the version that came after this, kind of just superseded this, because that one had a bigger battery and also a removable battery. So I would have rather had a J3 2018 as a personal main device than this 2017, because this thing doesn't have a replaceable battery, and there's also pretty much no custom ROMs for this device available, so it will always be stuck on its stock ROM, which is One UI 1.1 on Android 9. So yeah, I will probably try to root this. I haven't tried that yet. I haven't had the time for that yet because I got the other two phones that I really wanted to take a look at. But I will root this someday. If I'll be able to, I will absolutely root this. See if I can maybe overclock the CPU. See if I can make this thing a bit snappier because it's not the fastest phone in the world. You know, Exynos 7570 is a quad core at 1.43 gigahertz. Though it's based on the newer 40 nanometer process. Unlike the Samsung Galaxy A3 2016, which I have right here, the A3 2016, uses the 7578, which is 1.5 gigahertz quad core, Cortex A53, just like this one, except it's 28 nanometer. But I don't really notice a battery life difference between the two, which is odd in my opinion. Because, well, the A3 2016 that I just pulled out, this one that I've had for 4 years now, the super cracked one that works perfectly fine. I have a custom ROM on this. This is running Lineage OS 18.1 Android 11. With a new battery, by the way. The battery on this thing has been replaced. I know it's off topic, but as you can see, the back is kind of coming off still. So yeah, the battery on my A3 2016 has been replaced. I didn't mention that. I should have. The battery on this is of course not replaced. Why should I? It's an MPC phone. It doesn't have any, special value like the A3 2016 has for me, because the A3 2016 has been lasting me so long now, and it had so many photos and screenshots and stuff on there. That phone was a memory lane. So that's why I replaced the battery in that thing, because it absolutely deserved it. This one on the other hand doesn't. This one also takes a way different battery than a A3 2016, so yeah. I do have the old battery for the A3 2016, but I cannot put that in here. But yeah. J3 2017, I'm kind of happy with this, I guess. I don't really mind it. It's nothing special. I've completely debloated it with ADB. I've deleted everything that I wanted to delete, which helped a little itty bitty. It made it a slightly bit faster. It's just kind of crazy to me how much support Samsung gave this phone. Because remember, this thing came out with Android Nougat, which is the last OS that the A3 2016 had. But this didn't just stop at Android 8. This went all the way to Android 9 with One UI. Like, I don't know, that's kind of crazy to me. The A520, according to my best friend, the A5 2017, which he has 2 of those in pink, those never received One UI. I cannot, clarify that. I have never had an A5 2017, but according to him, the A5 2017 never received One UI update. So if that's true, then this is truly impressive. But yeah, this was just pulled out of an e-waste bin, where they, well, not an e-waste bin, just a box at my work, where they collect phones for a charity, and I pulled this thing out of it and just rescued it. That's literally what I did, along with another phone, but I'm not going to show that one because that one is not coming in my collection. I'm giving that one away to a friend. So yeah, J3 2017, that's that phone. Let's go to the next one and start with the story about those. So, every now and then I go on my local marketplace app from the Netherlands and take a look at whatever deal I can score. 99% of the time those are phones, sometimes laptops, but those are kind of too big. But I've kind of gotten more into phones now again, which is nice. As of recording this video, I'm getting a lot more into phones again, unlike computers and stuff. So yeah, I've been looking for, a bunch of phones that I want in my collection. So like an LG G2, a G3, a G4. I did manage to get 2 LG G2s in white, but I haven't shown those on the channel yet because I've tried to repair both of those, and both the motherboards are good, both the batteries are good. The LCD on one of them was bad, and the LCD on the other one was really good, but the touchscreen doesn't work properly. So yeah, the touchscreen only works very, very partially, but for the rest, those 2 phones are, well, one is good. The other one had a completely dead LCD because went to a repair shop and it got fucked. So yeah, LG G2. I was also looking for, but I was initially looking for an LG G3 or a G4. Initially a G4, but the G4s are still incredibly expensive, and those are also the most problematic ones with, boot loop, motherboards dying, etc. I almost scored a G3 for $10, but I just couldn't get something. And then I remembered, I really wanted a HTC One M8. So I asked a friend of mine who also collects phones, do you have a HTC One M8? And this was before the whole thing that I was searching for phones on that marketplace app, by the way. This was before that. So I asked him that and he said, yes, I do. And I was like, oh, wow, I actually really want that phone. Can I trade something for it? And well, in the end, I traded a Sony Xperia something that I never used, along with a half-broken boot-looping Samsung Galaxy S1, and I got a HTC One M8 for that. And, well, oh my gosh. This is that HTC One M8 that he gave me. I traded phones, basically. Yeah, this thing is absolutely destroyed to pieces. Normally this is a gorgeous looking phone, but this is done. This thing is done. There's even a crack in the camera lens. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, there you go. There's a crack in the camera lens. Secondary camera is fine, funnily enough. This is a real M8, but it's completely dead. The power button is missing. The SD card tray is missing. The volume buttons don't work well. The SIM card tray is missing, and the list goes on and on and on. The display is lifting out, which is incredibly weird because the way you take these apart is you take the speaker grills off, and then there are screws under there. So I have absolutely no clue how this happened. Maybe the battery is swollen in this. I don't know. Battery is also completely dead in this. The only sign of life this phone gives is that the backlight comes on, but nothing else works. If I turn this on, it just dies. Even on a charger, it just completely dies. So either the battery is just 100% cooked or the motherboard is done. I have no clue, man. But the display is so broken. I did look at replacement parts for this, but it would cost me way too much to restore this. I could much better go out and buy a refurbished One M8 from CEX or something. Because then you're looking at $60 or something. You can buy a second-hand, good working HTC One M8 from CEX, in my country at least, for $46 or something. So I was really sad with this. I thought this wasn't worth it. I could have kept that Xperia. That would have been nice. My friend was really happy with the two phones, so yeah, I couldn't really be mad at him, but he didn't state the condition of this phone at all. He didn't tell me the condition of this, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I was like, oh well, so be it. I have my LG G2s coming in the mail that day. And yeah, I just left this on the shelf. And I did look at HTC One M8 on Marketplace, on my Marketplace app for quite a while. I saw one and I wanted to bid on it, and it was in good condition and fully working, no cracks, no nothing, but someone bid $25 on there. And I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna pay $25 for a 10-year-old flagship phone that has, the description said normal wear and tear, battery being worn out, that sort of thing. It really was a very honest seller, honestly. It was a very honest seller that really did state the condition of the phone like you'd expect it to be after 10 years, But someone bid $25 in there, and I was like, oh my god, that's way too much. Well, I saved it to my favorites. I looked for, LG G3s, LG G4s again to, kind of see to get a good deal. I saw a G3 for $10, but the listing was deleted 1 hour after I put my $10 bid on there. So yeah, that really sucks. And then I looked in my favorites, and then I noticed the HTC One M8 that I looked at, that someone bid $25 on, said $1 on it. Yes. €1 it stated. Just, it didn't even said you can bid on this item. No, it just said €1. So I asked the seller, how much do you want for this minimum? And you will not believe what he said. €1. for a HTC One M8. So I was like, what the actual fuck? So I was like messaging my dad from please buy this for me, because like I really fucking want this. I cannot believe this. And I ended up having to pay €5.35 because, you know, it had to be sent over. It had to be shipped. So yeah, I was incredibly happy that day because I scored a phone that I really wanted for basically nothing. €5 is absolutely nothing for me. And then the surprises just kept on coming. So yeah, the HTC One M8 came in the mail, but not just the HTC One M8. When I got them in the mail yesterday, it turns out he gave me 2 of them. So that is 50 cents per phone. I was absolutely stunned. I was absolutely going hyper because, man, I scored 2 HTC One M8s for €1 whole, and I'll show you them right now. I'll first show you the phone that I actually wanted, the M8 that I actually, you know, paid for and actually was looking for. So this is the HTC One M8 that I paid for, that I wanted, that I was looking for. It has, you know, quite a lot of nicks on the frame, and, you know, it's not in the best condition ever, but it doesn't have any significant scratches or something. All the buttons are there, the SIM card tray, the SD card tray, the volume buttons work good, charging port works well. It just has some damage to the frame and stuff, but overall, it's completely intact. And look at the display. Look at that display. Oh, oops. Look at that display. Not a single crack. In fact, this one barely has any scratches on it. The speaker grills look good. Yeah, this is what I paid for. I love this thing. I only paid a whole 50 cents for this because I'll show you the other phone in a bit. But yeah, this is the phone I really wanted. This is the HTC One M8. And it works incredibly well, this particular unit. It doesn't have any overheating issues. In fact, this one has the same processor as the Galaxy S5. Man, every Galaxy S5 that I've used heats up so fucking much that it just gets uncomfortable to use. This thing doesn't. This thing has some great heat dissipation with that metal frame. I mean, this phone wasn't exceptionally known for overheating issues. The one that I'm going to take a look at next has. But yeah, this phone fully works. It does have some bugs because this is running Android 6.0 and not 6.01. But yeah, I'll show you. Yep, HTC One M8 completely works fine. Battery is good on this. Battery is pretty good on this. I'll replace the battery in this. I will, but it's pretty good, and I can work with it for more than long enough. I'll be able to keep using it like this for a good while before I replace the battery. So yeah, I'm incredibly happy with this one, this One M8. It works completely fine. It's not in the best condition ever, but man, I can absolutely not complain. It will be custom ROM'd, it will be bootloader unlocked, it will be S-offed. So yeah, this thing will really be used. I absolutely love it. The speakers sound great, the camera is good. I have no complaints. I was already super happy with this. But yeah, like I said earlier, the seller gave me 2 HTC One M8s. Here's the second one. So like I have 3 phones now with exactly the same you know, design, and it's super weird. So yeah, this is the second one. And look at it, it's like mint. This thing is like mint condition. I mean, it does have some spots on it, but like, man, I'd love to swap the frame between these because it doesn't have, you know, the scuffing on these sides like the One M8 has. This isn't just a One M8, by the way. This is a slightly more rare. This is a much more rare special version. But yeah, this one also works completely fine. In fact, this one is actually in better condition, physical condition than the M8. Internal condition we'll talk about in a bit. But going in about, this isn't just a One M8. This is a HTC One M8s. This is the refresh model of the One M8. So there are a few differences between these. Despite that the condition, the condition in this one is, quite a lot better. This one does have some more scratches on the screen than the M8, which I don't mind. I wanted this. I didn't want this. I wanted this. It does have some more scratches on the screen, but the frame is, just look at it, it's absolutely beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this thing. Well, there is something wrong with this thing, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, two HTC One M8s. One of them is the M8, one of them is the M8s. Absolutely freaking happy with them. Paid 50 cents each. This one doesn't have the Snapdragon 801, the M8s. This one has the Snapdragon 615, which is not that much slower than the 801. I did compare these a little bit in terms of speed, and yes, the M8 is faster than the S, which, kind of makes sense. Flagship chipset compared to newer mid-range, but you can tell that this is newer. As you can see, there's more wear on the charging port on the M8s than on the M8, which clearly states something. But yeah, I was incredibly surprised. I absolutely love these phones, but there's one slight issue with the M8s. The battery. The battery in this thing is absolutely gone. The battery in this thing has had its time. It's absolutely gone. And despite that I just showed you that it's at 90. Look, I have proof. When I first showed you this, it was at 90%. It's at 88 now, and all I did was open up the settings for a few seconds. The battery in the M8s is so bad indeed that if I boot this up without plugging it in, it will die in the middle of the boot process because the battery voltage drops so significantly that the phone just can't handle it. So, yeah. Sadly, the M8s is rarer and harder and more expensive to repair. So the M8s uses the same battery as the M9, which is a 2840 mAh battery instead of the 2600 and the normal M8. So I can't just put the battery from this completely smashed M8 in this M8s. I think they use the same connector, but I don't think it actually would work because the M8s battery and the M9 battery have a little plastic piece on the connector that the M8 doesn't have, from what I've seen. A new M8 battery cost me around 17 euros. A new M8s battery cost me around 24 euros. And I do have money laying around for this. Don't worry, I will not, completely go bankrupt from these two phones. But, just something to keep in mind. The M8s, it really needs a new battery. It's gone. It's had its time. But, that's okay. It is in immaculate condition with only a few spots on it. I was really thinking of switching the frames between these, but the fact that you have to take the speaker grills off, which are held in by adhesive on these, yeah, it's already really hard to get those speaker grills back on. So, yeah, and although these are in really good condition, both of them, well, this one is in medium condition, but this one is in exceptionally good condition. It's hard. It's really hard to replace batteries in these. So I think I'm just going to keep them the way they are and just replace the batteries on both, and then they'll be absolutely perfect. The M8s has a unlocked bootloader and will be custom ROM'd today, and that's the reason why I'm showing it right now, because as of filming this video, it is still completely stock. The bootloader is unlocked on this one though, so yeah, it will definitely be custom ROM'd. The M8, the normal one, the non-S, will also be custom ROM'd, but I'm going to keep it the way it is for a little bit now, because the battery is doing well, and I kind of just want to show this off, because I absolutely love this one. I really love this phone. It's a thing that I actually came for, and I didn't actually even want the M8s, but looking at it now, having two phones with the same design, while the hardware is quite different on this. This also has a slightly better camera than the M8. Bigger battery, of course. Kind of funny because, that does mean that I could have fitted a much bigger battery in these to begin with, but yeah. It's also a 2 megapixel depth sensor on the M8s and a 4 megapixel one on the M8, so the S isn't better with everything. But yeah, that basically wraps it up. really absolutely wanted these HTC M8s for a really long time. I still want the M9 as well, but no one is selling M9s in my country currently. So, yeah. What am I going to do with this piece of crap? Well, this will be used to practice on. I'm going to take this thing apart the way with a tutorial, and you know, I first want to practice taking a M8 apart before I start repairing two fully functional ones of them. This thing is pretty much dead, so if I do something wrong in the process, I learn from that, and it doesn't matter because this thing is completely dead. And then I have, you know, learned how to replace the batteries in these, because I think I'm just going to rip the battery from this one and the motherboard, and then this thing is going to go in the bin. But yeah, anyways, those are the 3 phones that I got in my collection. A HTC One M8, a HTC One M8S, and a Samsung Galaxy J3 2017, not 2016. All phones work completely fine. The M8s need some work to them. The J3 doesn't, well, apart from rooting. This thing, we don't talk about that. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Really hope you enjoyed this one, and see y'all in the next one.